Come forward. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. I'm State Senator Kelly Morris, and I represent District 45 in the western suburbs of Minneapolis. I'm also a physician, and I practiced in Minnesota for more than 20 years. And I've watched my patients struggle to afford the medicines they need over the years, and that struggle has only gotten worse. With those patients in mind, I was proud to author the Prescription Drug Affordability Board bill and get it passed in the House. And that's why I'm proud to carry it in the Senate now. And now, finally, we're here today because for the first time, the Minnesota Senate is going to pass a Prescription Drug Affordability Board off the floor in the Commerce Omnibus Bill. The Prescription Drug Affordability Board, or PDAB as we affectionately call it, will have the authority to set upper payment limits on certain high-cost drugs that cause an affordability challenge to patients or our healthcare system, functioning much like our Public Utilities Commission. Prescription drugs are not just another consumer product. They are a public good and should be treated as such. This bill was the first recommendation made by the Attorney General's task force on lowering pharmaceutical drug costs, and we are so glad to have our Attorney General here to speak more about that. This bill has been a long time coming. It's a critical first step to lowering the cost of prescription drugs in Minnesota. Having carried this bill in the House, I've seen the enormous power and pushback from the pharmaceutical industry before. But this year, the industry has taken it to a new level. It has invested significant lobbying power and advertising dollars to create fear and confusion to try to stop this bill. They've run full-page color ads in the Star Tribune. They've run radio ads. They've even paid for billboards all over the state to try to scare patients and intimidate legislators. I am so proud that my colleagues are not having it and are choosing to stand with patients and their well-being over pharma. That's right. A large coalition that includes labor, faith organizations, farmers, and community organizations have come together to support PDAB. Patients across Minnesota need their medicines today to stay healthy. And if they can't afford them, they can't access them. Drugs don't work if people can't afford them. There is urgency to this action, and I cannot wait for us to pass it off the Senate floor later today. With that, I would like to introduce our next speaker, Jessica Intermill.
Thank you so much, Senator Morrison. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jessica Intermill. I am a Minneapolis mom, wife, and small business person. And my story started a little bit more than a decade ago when I was a healthy 31-year-old. I decided with my husband that it was time to have kids, but about 4 weeks into my pregnancy, something went wrong. First, my fingers started swelling, and then my joints started to stiffen, and fluid started pooling inside my wrists. And every day got just a little bit worse until one day I couldn't even make a fist. I was 7 months pregnant when I saw my first rheumatologist. He took one look at me from across the room and diagnosed me with rheumatoid arthritis. I went home, I cried, and 22 days later I delivered our child. I have required care for every one of the 11 years since. Now, rheumatoid arthritis is a vicious disease. It makes a person's body turn on themselves. Inflammation attacks your whole body, and it's incredibly painful. Just turning a key in a lock made it feel like my knuckles would split open. I didn't even trust my hands to have the strength to hold my infant. The closest I can come to healthy is to take a handful of pills every day and inject myself with Actemra every week. It's not a cure. There is no cure. But this regimen controls my symptoms and works to stop my disease from progressing, and for that I am truly grateful. But the base price for Actemra is over $9,000 per month. Even with the discounts that my insurance company negotiates, Actemra costs $4,400 per month. That's a discounted price of $150 per day, every single day, including every single day of the 3 years that I have brought my story here to the Capitol. airing my medical trauma, begging Minnesota lawmakers to lower drug costs. My disease and my drug costs don't stop for Easter recess or for the end of session or for any election or reelection. If I want to be able to function, I have to find a way to pay for a drug that's priced 4 times as much as my mortgage. And it's not just the brand name drugs that are a problem. I have paid $100 per month for generic methotrexate, a drug that's 80 years old. Paid $130 per month for generic hydroxychloroquine, a drug that was first approved in 1955. I need both of those along with spironolactone and folic acid every day to treat my rheumatoid arthritis, and the cost of these must-have maintenance drugs adds up. Patients like me don't have any choice but to pay this ransom for the drug companies and the pharmacy benefit managers and the insurance companies for our health. I am so excited that we're doing better than this. We are going to get prescription drug costs under control, and I am proud to stand with leaders like Senator Morrison and Representative Stevenson who are willing to pass real solutions for real Minnesota patients. Thank you.
Awesome.
Good morning. Just get my name is Kate Lynch. I'm a member of SEIU Healthcare Minnesota and Iowa, and I'm also a nurse. As a nurse, I see every day what a difference prescription drugs can make in patients' health, from keeping blood pressure down to helping stop the spread of cancerous cells. When patients can take their medicines as prescribed, they're better able to manage their health conditions, giving them a better quality of life and preventing more serious health problems down the line. But right now, too many patients aren't able to take the medications that are prescribed to them because of their cost. These patients deal with more pain and discomfort, often while their conditions worsen, making them harder and more costly to treat later. The current system isn't helping patients, it's hurting them, and it needs to change. We have also felt the effects of high drug costs within our membership, including the death of Alex Smith, the son of one of our members, due to the insulin price gouging. Powerful pharmaceutical companies may want to defend the status quo. It's what allows them to rake in profits. But it's patients who are paying the price for this system. Big Pharma may also say that efforts to rein in prices will stymie them and prevent them from being able to make prescription drugs. But too many people already can't access the drugs they need. Medications don't work when people can't take them. It's not a surprise that this bill is being championed by so many doctors, nurses in the legislature. I'm proud of the lawmakers and Attorney General Keith Ellison for standing up to make this system work for people. Not just wealthy corporations, but patients, union members, and medical professionals are all standing with you. Let's get this done without delay. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica and Kate. And now I'm proud to introduce our Attorney General, Keith Ellison.
Thank you, Senator, Dr. Senator. Let me also say thank you to you, Representative Stevenson, and thank you to all the legislators here, and thank you to Jessica and Kate for telling your stories. It takes such tremendous courage to do so. One of the reasons why I ran for Attorney General in the first place is I was at a community meeting, and a very nice lady walked up to me, and she said, "I got to talk to you." Like, okay. And she tells me a story that I will never forget. She said to me, my son was a very talented young man, was trying to start a restaurant. He aged off of the Affordable Care Act, going from 25 to 26. He was on my insurance, and we could afford the insulin he needed as a type 1 diabetic, but when he was on his own, the prices just got so high, $1,300 every time a month, and he could not afford it, particularly with trying to lead his life. He didn't come to me because he was trying to make it on his own and didn't want to keep asking his mom for money. And so he began to ration his insulin. And his body, after a while, went into ketoacidosis, and he died. That young man's name was Alex Smith. And that mom of his and his dad started something called Insulin for All. And when I was talking to her, she said to me, my son, he died from diabetes, and it occurred to me, I said, he didn't die from diabetes. He died because he couldn't afford insulin. He died because he couldn't afford to live. He could not afford his life. And some folks somewhere are collecting enormous bonuses because of the pain and suffering that they inflicted on this family. I find that really bad, really bad. And I believe that the people of the state of Minnesota have every right to do something about it, which is why I'm so proud of my legislators and the activists who are going to pass the Prescription Drug Affordability Board. Hope you get this. Now, it is not at all shocking that the folks who benefit so much from the suffering of others use those profits to push forward propaganda like this. The people pushing prescription drug affordability boards don't want you to read between the lines. Come on. The bottom line is, we have every right to afford our lives, every right. And one of the things that we discovered in this very important report, this is one of the first things I did, the report of the Minnesota Attorney General's Office Advisory Task Force on Lowering Pharmaceutical Drug Costs. This is what one of the main things that we did with this is we dissected why and how the drugs are so high. This is not market. This is not a free market. This is anything but a free market. The pharmaceutical industry relies on government intervention to keep their profits high all the time, whether it's through abuse of the patent system, subsidies that they get, all kinds of things. The last thing in the world they want to do is be in a free market. They oppose importation and reimportation laws. It is something that, it is the way they do business, but time is up. The bottom line is the time is up. Big Pharma is trying to stand in the way, and all of us, lawmakers, patients, Minnesotans, must stand together. Big Pharma has one of the biggest, most well-funded lobbying operations to block policies like this, and they can lobby and they can run these paid ads, and they could even file lawsuits. We are there to confront them and fight them in court if we need to, as we are right now on the Alex Smith Insulin Affordability Act. No sooner than the governor's ink was dry on the pen when he signed the bill, these people were dragging us to court to try to tear apart this bill because all we wanted to do was make sure that we didn't have any more people suffer like Alex Smith and his family. So the momentum is on our side. The good cause is on our side. And it's time to pass this bill. And I give you Representative and Chairman Zach Stevenson.
Well, thank you, Mr. Attorney General, and thank you, Senator Morrison, and everyone else for being here today on this important issue. We hear from our constituents all the time about the toll that the high cost of prescription drugs is having on their lives. Every day, there are Minnesotans across this state who are having to choose between paying for the mortgage and paying for their prescription drugs, who are choosing between rationing their food and rationing the medication they need to live. No Minnesotan should be having to make that choice. And it's important to remember that when we see ads like these, the money that is going to pay for these ads is coming from the people who are making those choices every day. That's how they're paying for this. That's how they're paying for the army of lobbyists that they have here at the Capitol. It's outrageous, and it needs to stop. And that's what the Prescription Drug Affordability Board would do by setting the limits on the amount that people can pay for their drugs throughout the system. And that's really important to understand, that it's at every layer of the supply chain that these upper payment limits would apply. So no one benefits but the consumer, who actually will pay a reasonable price for the drugs they need to live. This is really important legislation, and that's why it's no surprise that Big Pharma is fighting so hard to stop it. And they're using the classic play that they always use, and that frankly everyone in the health industry uses whenever someone tries to get at reasonable form, which is to point the finger. It's not us, it's the plans, it's the PBMs. And if you go after the plans and say it's not us, it's the PBMs, it's Big Pharma. If you go after the PBMs and say it's not us, it's the plans and Big Pharma. It's a big circle of pointing the finger at other people, of delay tactics. It has to end because people need help now. We're going to deliver it in the House. I'm so excited to see it be delivered in the Senate, and I am really excited to hear from my friend Senator Housechild.
Boy, did we make some folks mad. And we made the right folks mad. In my day job, I raise money for patients and family as part of a healthcare foundation for families and patients that can't afford the care and the prescription drugs that they need. But no family should have to rely on fundraising and GoFundMe pages to get the prescription drugs that they need. And that's why I got into this race. So I revel in this fight. I revel in being the David to this dang Goliath that we're facing from Big Pharma. And so I'm just thrilled. And I'll have to say, I know others have showed the ads, but these folks have such deep pockets. I was so surprised. I was driving around here around the Capitol. There's a billboard attacking me in the Twin Cities. So you must have so much money to attack us. So for those of you that don't know where I represent the Canadian border. I represent 200, 300 miles away from the Capitol. And they're putting up a billboard in the Twin Cities attacking me for standing up for patients and families. I mean, and then I had this elder woman come into my office, and she brought me this newspaper ad, and I thought, oh, geez, I'm going to have to explain this. I'm going to have to explain why I'm standing up for Big Pharma, because they're twisting the words around, and they're saying that I'm standing up for Big Pharma. But she didn't buy it. She brought this in and she said, did you know that the insurance companies and the Big Pharma are running ads against you in our local newspaper? This is a newspaper up on the Canadian border that they're running an ad against me on. And I just thought, good. She understands. This woman who is trying to afford her prescription drugs absolutely understands what is happening here. Minnesotans aren't stupid. Minnesotans and our seniors and people that need these prescription drugs know exactly what is going on. And that's why this is going to be the easiest vote that I take this legislative session. So I am thrilled. Thank you, Senator Morrison. Thank you, Representative Stevenson. Thank you, Attorney General Ellison, for this fight and for laying the groundwork for us doing this. Let's get it done. Let's stand up for patients and families. I am so damn excited. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Heather Gustafson, Senate District 36. It's 9 cities, but it's mostly Vadnais Heights, White Bear Lake, Lino Lakes area. Also got an ad. And my favorite part of this, it says, you'll be on the record. Good. Put me on the record for this. Good. These attacks are unequivocal lie. They're part of a multi-million-dollar fear-mongering companies, a big pharma. They are trying to kill legislation aimed at stopping them from getting richer by grossly overcharging for the medicine that people need, people have to have in order to live, to thrive, to survive. The DFL my DFL colleagues and I, led by Senator Kelly Morrison and Zach Stevenson, have a bill, SF 168. It's going forward. It's going to create this board that oversees pharmaceutical costs. This is basically what I said when my supporters called me too, and I didn't know either when they pulled out the ad or they got the email or the phone call. And this is what I said to them, and they said, oh, good. Keep doing it. That's great. Not one person came and said, I want you to answer for this. All of them said, keep going. The attack ads claim this is going to raise prices or sell you out to insurance companies, or that I'm some sort of a sellout, that I don't care about folks in my district or across the state. They only make me double down on my support for this bill. The people in our district do deserve lower costs and affordable treatment. The groups behind these ads should be thoroughly ashamed of spreading lies to kill bills like this. We have seniors who have spent their lives working, who are now struggling to make ends meet because their prescription costs are wiping out their savings. And now we have out-of-state group coming here, spending millions to spread lies so they can keep making a fortune by gouging the most vulnerable. And not only, again, does this make me double down on my support for SF 168, I encourage you to give the bill your full support too. Learn about it, read about it, see how this is going to benefit all of us. Most importantly, I encourage you to reach out to the legislators who don't support SF 168 and ask them why they're okay letting the pharmaceutical companies continue to make a fortune on the backs of vulnerable Minnesotans. Thank you.
Okay, with that, we are happy to take any questions you might have. Our passion has stunned you into silence.
Can you talk about how you decided on the ceiling for the drug costs that you have in the bill? Or how the board will determine that?
You want to go on?
Go ahead.
So what the board does, it will consider drugs individually and look at the whole supply chain and make an individualized determination for any drug that it addresses. And importantly, it's not going to look at every single drug. It's going to intervene in places where there's the most harm being done and where there's the most to be benefited by having an upper payment limit. But there's no flat cap. It's more looking at each drug and figuring out what is the correct upper payment limit for that drug.
Yeah, I think it's important to understand that this will not apply to every single drug. It's just the outliers that are very high cost or increase at a very high rate.
So in the case of something like insulin, had this affordability board been in place, say 10 years ago, how would that have impacted the price of insulin? Would it have not gotten so high that people had to ration? Would the price have stayed lower so that people like Alex Smith didn't die?
I think that's a great question. And yes, the answer is yes, it would have triggered a review of insulin. And it would have, after the board, under the advice of the advisory council, would have determined what an upper payment limit that would be affordable for people would have been implemented. So tragically, you're right, we may still have Alex Smith here today had this board been passed earlier.
Could the Attorney General remind us where you are on the insulin lawsuits?
Yeah. I didn't check in with my staff today, but I can tell you that the best up to date I have for you now is that we argue that at the district court level it was dismissed, and we argued lack of standing, and the most recent appellate decision is that they had standing. We are still very much in the fight and very confident we're going to win, but the dismissal on standing grounds was turned away by the appellate court. But we're still, we haven't begun to fight. We're in it, and we're going to win it. No, we don't have a date yet.
Can you talk about the threshold when the board would step in to start talking about a cap? Like what has to be happening? Do you have to hear from a number of patients? Do you have to, I guess, how does that discussion begin?
So there's a few different triggers in the bill. Importantly, it connects with some of the other work that's been going on in the legislature in recent years, including around drug price transparency. So that allows sort of referrals to the board to consider whether to do an upper payment limit on coming from various other places, whether it's the Department of Health or the Board of Pharmacy or other things. And there's an advisory council that's created in the board that also can make recommendations to the board. So that, a significant part of the work is choosing which drugs to intervene in and looking for those cases where they can do the most good, help the most people, save the most money. And if I just want to say one thing, that I think that the question about the lawsuits is important because it just goes to show another tactic that Big Pharma uses to try and defeat these things, which is to file ridiculous lawsuits, to tie things up in court, delay, obfuscate, do anything they can to do this. And then they turn around and they say, they're suing in Maryland on, which has enacted a prescription drug affordability board. And those lawsuits have caused the board to not be able to act while they're dealing with the lawsuits. And then they come here and they say, the board in Maryland isn't even functional. Why would you do this thing that doesn't work? And you're like, well, why doesn't it work? It's because of your lawsuits and the way that you're acting. They will do anything to stop this. They will do anything to protect protect their absurd profit margins that are hurting Minnesotans.
That's right.
Anything else?
Well, so then, is it likely then that if this legislature passes this and it starts, that there's just gonna be more lawsuits and it will be ineffective here in Minnesota because it's tied up in court?
We have not seen, I'll let you speak, Mr. Attorney General, but just one comment. We have never seen a drug reform not cause a lawsuit. The pharmaceutical industry has, as we've discussed ad nauseum this morning, very deep pockets, and they will fight it, which is why this bill has been very carefully crafted to withstand those challenges. And I'll defer to our Attorney General.
Well, thank you, Doctor. Actually, I don't really need to say anything else because you said it perfectly. But I will just emphasize, we are absolutely ready for court challenges because one thing we can count on is that they're coming. Absolutely. But we're not worried about that. That's what we do all day is fight folks in court who need to be fought in court. Yeah.
All right, thank you, everyone, for being here this morning.